Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Backstage Spotlight. Today I am with the lovely Eleanor Halliday. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Would you like to do a brief introduction of yourself and say what you're currently doing in the industry at this point in your life?
Yeah, okay. So I graduated in 2020, the dreaded COVID year. Um, and yeah, auditions and stuff were obviously like really quiet then. And I got my first job April 2022,
Wow.
in Heather's the musical. I was young Republicanette and then cover Heather Duke. And actually, like when I made my debut, it was in the pro shot in the film. So I joined straight away. I was literally one of two new cast members.
Oh,
Everyone else knew the show, had done it before, whether that was like tour or like in London. And then I like joined with them and did the pro shot. So my first show is actually like what you can see in the movie.
oh my
So that
goodness.
was literally like my professional debut was like on stage. Kind of terrifying because like obviously a first show that you do, like the very first one as well, you're like, oh, how's it going to be? And that was literally captured forever. And then yeah, I did the show for 9 months. And then after I finished Heather's, I went on to do Pretty Woman on its UK and Ireland tour. That was like a year long. I was in the ensemble for that. And then now I'm in Tina, the musical, on its original UK and Ireland tour. But I'm a swing for the first time. So yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, gosh, there's lots to unpack here. So tell me first. Tell me about the how it actually works filming a pro shot. And that must have been such a shock, like jumping into your first job, having it being filmed when you've not made your professional debut yet. I know, of course, like at college and stuff, you
Literally.
have shows, but having it filmed is quite a lot of pressure. So how was that experience for you?
Do you know what? It was honestly the best. I feel like I couldn't have chosen a better way to like start my career. But yeah, it was terrifying. I got the call from my agent on like the Wednesday saying I got the job. I started rehearsals on the Monday, and it wasn't until like I was getting emails through about contracts and stuff, and they were like, obviously, the fee for the film will be different. And I was like, fee for what film? And he was like, don't know. I think they might be filming like a pro shot. And I was like, okay. Didn't know too much about it. Rocked up for first day of rehearsals, and it was who did I bumped into Hannah Lowther in like the Tesco's in Elephant and Castle because she was running the rehearsals because she was dance captain. She was like, "How good about this pro shot?" I was like, "Yes, could someone tell me about this? Because I actually have no idea what's going on." And she was like, "Yeah, it's like this big film." And so we we had 3 weeks of rehearsals. I had the first week to learn the entire show. Bear in mind, like I said, literally everyone else had learned it. So it was me and the girl that was playing Heather Duke, that were like learning the show. But we were like learning it. We had a week to like learn the show. Then we had the second week, which was like learning it for the film. So we had like rehearsals for the film where everyone would be in rehearsals again. And our director, Andy Fickman, he's actually like, he directs films and stuff like that. I don't know if you know the film She's the Man,
Heard of
like
it?
he
Yeah,
directed that. So he's very like, yeah, he's very like well versed in like the film world.
yeah.
And we would be at is it the National Ballet? I feel like everyone does like rehearsals and stuff there. And we were literally just, we would practice doing like 30 seconds of a scene and starting again. And he was really hot on continuity. Because obviously, when you do like live theatre, you might stand slightly differently each day. Your hair might be positioned in a different place when you say a certain line. He was very hot on like, you need to get the continuity because if we're filming things shot after shot, it needs to be like, be able to be, I guess, like edited together. So
Yeah.
then, like, we had a week of rehearsing for like the film.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we were in a different studio for the first part of that week because they were ripping out all of the seats in the theatre to be able to put all of like the
Yeah.
cameras and stuff in. We even had like one of those cameras that you know that like flies over. It's like on a crane and like
Yeah.
flies over. So that was all like yeah, all the seats were ripped out and stuff for that. And then the third week was filming for the pro shot. So we kind of did how did we do it? Like scene by scene. We filmed the whole thing like scene by scene, song by song, kind of, but not like chronologically, kind of just like as and when, like depending on the schedule. So we did that for, I think it was Monday to Thursday. Was it Monday? No, Monday to Wednesday. Then on the Thursday, we did two performances and they were filmed like start to finish with an audience. I think you had to like enter the ballot to win it. And so the first one, we had a camera that was like on the stage with us, filming the audience for
Oh,
like the audience reaction and stuff like that.
yeah.
And we obviously had a camera like filming us as well, but that was mainly for like the audience reaction. And then the second show, it was like filming us. So yeah, and then so we did that on the Thursday. So that was literally like my debut. And then on the Friday, we actually opened the show. And then I was in it for 9 months.
That is crazy. And then when you watched it back,
Yeah.
how did you react to seeing yourself on the screen?
Oh my. When I watched it back, we were all laughing because it was really sweet because it was first like brought over, or it was first, what do you call it, like premiered in America.
Yeah.
And so we couldn't get it. So they did like a viewing for us at like a cinema in London, and like all the cast and crew got to like sit and watch it, which was really nice to get to watch it for the first time, like all together.
Yeah.
But we were all just laughing. Anytime like any one of the ensemble, because obviously we only get like the little cameos, anytime we all came up, we were all like, woo! And everyone was like, Eleanor, the camera loves you. I was like, why am I putting all of these random shots? Like, I wouldn't be doing anything. I'd just be like watching the scene, and it would be this big thing of my face. And I was like, but no, it was really cool and it was really special. And I feel very lucky to kind of have, for the rest of time, like my professional debut. But there are definitely some moments in because obviously I only had like 2 weeks really to learn it. There are definitely some moments I look at it and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Or I'm like, I'm not singing the right words there. And obviously, I remember watching it sort of towards the end of the contract where I knew it like the back of my hand, thinking, if we would have done that now, it would have been a very different thing. But no, it's very cool. And like I said, I'm very lucky, I guess, to like have that there forever. Like hopefully like show my kids one day, like this was my literal debut, not just like first show, but literally like the first show.
That's so sweet, and what a great thing to be a part of. So you graduated into
Yeah.
2020, which was the horrendous COVID year, which I can't even begin to imagine how that must
Yeah.
have been. And then your first job came along in 2022. So I know that COVID happened,
Mm.
but that time frame sometimes for college, like leaving college and getting a job, is quite accurate for some people.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to people who have just graduated to step into the industry, agent wise, taking class wise? Like, how did you navigate that? And I know that it was COVID, so it might be a bit different.
Yeah. Well, for me, like obviously when it was COVID, Zoom was a massive thing and people were still doing like classes and stuff. So I took classes and things like that on Zoom still. I think for me, it was like, don't put pressure on yourself. And obviously, I feel like when the whole world is shut down, that's maybe a little bit easier because you feel like, well, no one's doing anything. But I think that's the biggest thing is to like not compare your journeys to anyone else. And if you're just graduating, like go to classes and stuff. And I even now, even like three contracts now, I'm absolutely terrified. I feel like every time I
Yeah.
go to class, I finally like get into the swing of it, then I get a job and I don't go for ages, and then going again, like I'm absolutely terrified. So the idea of like going again now terrifies me. But like go with a friend. That's
Yeah.
what I say. If you're terrified to go to class, like go with a friend, do it together. But it is just really good. I feel like I grew as a performer bizarrely 10 times more after I graduated than when like my 3 years of training.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know what that could be. I mean, I graduated when I was 19, so maybe it's because I got a bit older, and I guess like as you get older, you get more comfortable and more confident. But yeah, so I definitely say go to classes, especially because the people that you meet in classes tend to be the people that you're around in auditions and stuff as well. And I guess you kind of get familiar to that sort of like environment.
Mm.
Um, that's definitely like one thing I'd say, like go to classes because like my pickup got so much better. I used to have terrible pickup, and then one day I went to class and I just didn't. And that made me feel so much better than going into auditions because I was like, oh, I know I can actually pick this up. And that kind of like then takes the pressure, I guess, off of going into a room not knowing what you're about to learn for a job.
Yeah, for sure.
What else would I say? I mean, I just think. some like if you've just got to trust the path that you're on and the journey that you're on, and not, like I've said before, like compare it to anyone else. And what I've learned from every single job is that it's actually not about the job itself, and it's about the people you meet and like the life lessons you learn from it and like the experiences that you gain from it. And you may think that you've got like a dream job and you're like, I have to do this, I want to do this, or you're in for a job and you're like, oh, I really want this, I really want this. But actually, sometimes you've just got to trust that like life is bigger than that like specific job that you're going to stand and do on stage. I always just say every contract I've done, what I have stood on stage doing 8 times a week has been like the least important part of that season of my life. And
Yeah.
it's like the people, like I've said. And so if you're kind of like thinking about the bigger picture, and I just think if you, and I have to say this to myself now, like if you don't get a certain job, like and dealing with the rejection of it, you just have to trust that there's something bigger at play.
Yeah.
Like, for example, when so Pretty Woman was my second job, but I auditioned for that. That was the third year in a row that I'd auditioned for it. And there were so many times before, and I thought, why didn't I get it? Why didn't I get it? And then when I was finally doing that job, I was like, oh, I see why I had to get it now and all of those times before. And actually, I met my boyfriend in that job. So I'm like, right,
Oh,
okay, that makes sense. So I think, yeah, just trust that there's like something bigger at play. And like, if you don't get it, it's not the end of the world. And then when you finally do get it, like it will click in your brain and you go, ah, oh, that's why I had to wait, you
mm,
know?
yeah, that's really good
So
advice.
yeah, like take that pressure off. And then it makes you feel like, oh, it's not all about what I do exactly in that room. Like sometimes in life, there are just bigger things at play. And yeah, I think it's all about taking the pressure off.
Yeah, definitely. I really like that. That's great advice. I now want to talk about your tour experience. You are on your second show touring now. So
I
surely
am.
tips and tricks, some tour hacks to share with us.
Book your digs. Like for me, if I don't know where I'm staying like far in advance, I get stressed. I just book my digs as far in advance as I possibly can. And I'm always asking, like I go on Airbnb and I'll be like, can I have a discount? I'm on this show. Always try it.
Yeah,
It tends to work a lot of the
that's
time.
really good.
Um, what else? What else would I say for tour? Well, interestingly, doing in terms of like actually doing a show on tour, I guess if anyone's about to do a tour for the first time, and especially say if you're going to be a swing, doing a show 8 times a week in one venue compared to doing a show 8 times a week when you're swapping venues is very different because the space that you're in, your backstage track is different. Like as a swing, I could be on in one venue and we have a quick change that's in a certain place, but then you move to another venue and then it's not big enough or this certain thing doesn't fit here, so then you have to do it in like in another place. And unless I've like twigged onto that, I could go on one day for a certain track, think I know like all of the backstage traffic, and then I'm like wandering around like where am I meant to do this change? So like that's something to I guess think about from an actual like the job point of view if you are going on tour is that know that each venue is going to be different and to kind of like allow yourself to have that flexibility. Like I like when things are like rigid and I like my rules and stuff, but I've had to learn to be very flexible. Like it might change from venue to venue, and like one venue you might be on like 3 for a certain bit, and then another venue you might have to move over to like 4, and like it's learning to retain that and
Yeah,
also knowing that those are like changes I guess that are going to happen
yeah, it's quite hard because,
in terms of actual tour line.
yeah. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you carry on.
I was speaking to someone recently about the different theatres, like an A stage and a B stage, and how not only do
Mm-hmm.
you have to retain the show, but then when you are going to like a small venue, you've got like the A or the B stage track in your head. But then if you're a swing, like what
Mm.
I'm about to ask you about, that is hard. Like I can't even begin to
Yeah.
imagine not only like one track, like say you're retaining stage A, stage B for one track, but then stage A, stage B for like 4, 5 tracks. That is insane.
Yeah. That's literally the venue we're in right now. We're in Nottingham and a couple of pieces of our set don't fit in the wings. So we've
Oh,
had to cut them. And we have like this track which brings on certain bits of set, like that kind of gets like automatically brought on and that is cut. So we're all having to like bring things on ourselves. And when we teched in, I was going to be on for a certain track. So I was kind of learning all of the new bits as that track. And I remember stood there when the dance captain was telling another girl like what to do. And I was thinking, if I have to go on for another track in this venue, I have no idea what the changes are because I'm learning all of them. Like I can't sit back and tech as I normally would when I'm not on because I'm actually like learning the ones that I'm on for tonight. So yeah, that was one thing. I'm even thinking that now. Like every now and again, I'm like just looking over, just like, what do you actually do at this point? Because like if God forbid I got chucked on, I'd be
Yeah.
like, what bit of set did they move at what point? So yeah, it's like that is that is definitely like one thing about being a swing on tour, which is so different to being a swing in town. Even like I guess ensemble, like you don't expect as the ensemble that your track is going to change, but I guess on tour it like it does and it can from venue to venue.
Yeah, that's mad. So, how many tracks do you actually cover, and what was your process in rehearsals when you started learning them?
So I cover 5 tracks. My process, well, I'd never been a swing before. And funnily enough, all about we've got 6 swings on this show, 3 female, 3 male, and none of us had been a swing before. So it was kind of like the blind leading the blind at first. And it was funny because everyone sort of like had different methods. Like a lot of them were using stage right. I downloaded the app, looked at it, felt like I was back at like ICT lesson in year 9 and immediately just deleted it because I thought, oh, I can't try and learn how to use this app at the same time as actually trying to learn what I'm doing. So for me, I use something called Good Notes. I much prefer like writing. Like I've got my iPad and my Apple Pencil. Like everyone just says that like it's me and my iPad. Like I was just sat the whole time like with my head in my iPad, making like my swing maps and stuff. Um, yeah, I mean, honestly, I think the hardest thing about being a swing, or the hardest thing I found was learning like the vocal side of it.
Oh yeah, like
Just because I feel like in terms of, yeah, and in this show, like there are some shows when you're a swing, they kind of say stick to the soprano, stick to the alto, stick to like the middle. But in Tina, um, they've got so you've got the 3 Ikettes and then you've got like 2 other female ensemble roles. But the 3 Ikettes, they're soprano, middle, and then like bottom, and you have to learn every single one.
oh wow.
Um, Yeah, and then even like the other girls as well. So there were like some like group ensemble numbers where they're kind of like, okay, so you can pretty much just sing soprano if you want. But then there are like certain numbers like for the Ikettes that you haven't like you have to learn it because you're the only person on that line. So when I go on for a certain thing, like I can't be like, oh, it's fine, there are other people on the soprano line. It's like, no, there's 3 of you singing. You
Yeah.
need to know it, otherwise that harmony line's just not there. And going into rehearsals, I mean, even being ensemble, I always find like the music side of it like the most daunting because I feel like you can't, I'm like, I can't read sheet music. I can see when something goes up and I can see when something goes down and I can see when something stays the same. But apart from that, like it's all kind of like muscle memory and you just got to like ingrain it into you. Whereas I feel like the physical stuff, I'm like, I can see who goes right and who goes left. And like, I can see like where I find that like in my mind's eye, when I go, oh, who goes where? I can like see it in my mind's eye. So I feel like that's so much easier for me. But yeah, the harmonies. I remember just the first day sitting there, they were note bashing things out. They're going, right, sopranos, you sing da 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 da. And I'm here like, okay, sopranos, recording on my iPad, stop. And then I'm like typing because I was like, I need to make sure these are well labeled because just if I
Yeah.
click and record, I'm not going to have a clue. So I was like, if they're well labeled, and I'm typing away my label, I'm like, so this is bar this to that of the soprano. Next thing I know, they've already started like note bashing the alto, and I'm like, so that first day, I've even got recordings of the note bashes. And it's just me in the background going, I have no idea what's going on. And the other swings going, yeah, you do. I go, no, I'm so confused. I'm so lost. I remember listening back to back going, yeah. And I said to my friend who was starting off as a swing a couple of months later, she's like, any advice? I said, when you're first learning the note bashes, if all you get out of that day is correctly recording and labeling your voice memos, I said, that's enough. I said, just focus on that. I think being a swing, it's like collect the information in the room and then go and learn it and retain it at home. That's at least the method that worked best for me because Like I'm dyslexic and I have ADHD, so my processing's a little bit slower. And I know for me, like if I try and learn and process it in the room, it's just not going to happen. I'm like, as long as I've got all of the information so that I can go home, take it away, and spend that extra time kind of digesting it at my own pace, like in my own space, that for me was kind of like the thing that worked best in terms of learning the show.
Yeah, gosh, that is a lot. And people just do not realize, like, it's just next
No.
level, like brain, like use of your brain. Like it's really, really impressive. And I'm gonna ask you if you have a favorite track in this show and why.
Oh, see, it's hard. So I've done 4 out of 5 of the tracks, so I've not done them all yet. Oh, I don't. I don't have a favorite track, and this is going to sound so bad. Sometimes I say, "Oh, my favorite track is this one. It's called the Tony track," and I say it's my favorite because I get like the most breaks. Because Tina the musical is a really hard show. Like physically,
Oh,
it's the hardest thing I've ever done. Like I don't know if you've seen it, but that mega mix at the end. I think yesterday was my maybe 64th show, I think.
wow.
Oh, and it's literally never got easier. It's never got easier. So sometimes I'm like, my favorite track is the one that's sort of like the easiest.
You can just
But then when
be.
I go on for like the yeah, when I go on for the different ICATs, I've now done all of the ICATs. And then I'm like, oh, this one's my favorite. And I'm like, oh no, this one. So I genuinely, I don't have a favorite, to be completely honest.
That's nice. That's a nice situation to be in because I suppose if there was one that you
Yeah,
dreaded, hated, it wouldn't make your job as fun. So
literally.
that's good.
No.
In the tour, where are you going next and which location are you most excited about?
Well, thankfully, our next sort of location, we've got a week off,
No.
which we've not had a week off since the end of April. So this is very, very much needed. But after that, we're going to Liverpool, which I'm very excited for because Liverpool is like that auditorium. Oh my gosh, it's like one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. I remember stepping out onto that stage in tech on my last tour. Like I'd seen pictures of it, but like being there in person, I stood out and I was like, oh, whoa. I was like, ah, okay. It's like, I think I might be doing what I always dreamt of doing.
Oh,
Huh.
that's so nice. So
Yeah.
Liverpool,
So I'm really excited for Liverpool.
any locations like near home?
Milton Keynes for me is fairly close to home, but like all my friends keep on saying, like, oh, what's close to London? And we're not doing venues that close. I think our closest venues to London and stuff are like Southend, Southampton, Canterbury, because obviously where it's still in town, we're
Yeah.
not going to go too close to London because anyone that can commute to London will probably go to town. So yeah, we're kind of like we're doing all of the other places, which is nice.
Yeah, that's really nice and nice to like branch out to go to those people who can't make it into
Yeah,
is really good. Oh,
no,
great.
100%.
Well, best of luck with the rest of that tour. And my last question is, I know
Thank
you said
you.
you didn't have a dream role, dream show, but if there was one show you could do next, what would it be?
I feel like if there was a show I could do next, it's like one that's not actually on at the moment. But
Oh,
I'd love to do either Rent. I know, I'd love to do Rent or In the Heights.
they're such good ones. They really do need to come back.
Yeah.
They would be
They
so
do. I literally,
good.
I love them.
Yeah. Oh, great. Well, it was so nice to speak to you and best of luck with the rest
You
of
too.
I hope that everybody listening has enjoyed. Head over to see what's going on where the tour is, if it's somewhere near you. And we'll see you next week for another episode. And take care. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.